Hello, bonjour. This video is to explain how vacation will affect your block, whether you're on reserve or on a regular block, and how to prorate it and to understand the calculations involved. So right here, what you need first to be able to calculate it is the grid that you're seeing on the screen. Now this is part of the published bid package that is available at the comm center during the bidding period, and it's available at all times as well on AeroNet under in-flight service, crew scheduling and planning, bidding tools and information as the reserve GDO proration table. In addition, despite its name and having information for reserve, it also has information, as you can see, for block holders and also vacation credit as it applies to block holders. Now we'll just go through a couple of the columns here. So here you have the block month length in days. So a 30-day block month, 31, 32, and so forth. Same thing for reserve block holders and RBP or reduced block program reserve block holders. And in this column you have what vacation is credited as when you have a block. So 1 day of vacation will be 2 hours and 55 minutes per vacation day. So 1 day, 2 hours and 55 minutes, 2 days will be 550 and so forth. Please, if you are calculating your days yourself because you don't have access to this grid, do not use 2.55 times your number of vacation days to determine your credit. 2 hours and 55 minutes is actually just short of an entire 3 hours. So using 2.55, which is closer to 2.5, is not going to give you the correct credit calculation. Now here I have that for reserve, it is a proration of days on and off. So when you do have vacation, your days off and on will be prorated depending on the amount of days that you have. Whereas on a block, it will be with the credit of your vacation. So again, that's where the 2 hours and 55 minutes will become important. If you're in PBS and you access your calendar, you can see on your calendar the in-period credit, which is the credit that your vacation is bringing into the current block month for which you are bidding. Now, going back to this grid with the columns, here it says available working days. I have made a note up here about what available working days are. So available working days is the block month length minus unavailable days. So block month length, pretty straightforward. Let's say it's a 30-day block month, then it's 30 minus your unavailable days, such as vacation days. Okay, unavailable days are days that you cannot work. You're not available to the company. So I often get the question, do I count training towards unavailable dates? No, training is work. You're available for those days, so you do not count them as unavailable days. And same thing goes for an overlap, because you're coming in to the month working, you're available that day. So no, those days are not unavailable days. Unavailable days are days when, for example, you're sick, you're on a leave, or in this case, specific to what we're talking about today, vacation days are unavailable days. So when we speak of reserve and the proration of days on, what you want is to figure out how many days you're available in the month to figure out what the proration is for your block month. So example, block month length is 30 days. I have 10 vacation days, so 30 minus 10, I am available 20 days. So I would scroll down the number of available working days till I get to 20, scroll over until I'm under the reserve section, so 20 available days in a 30-day block month. I get 9 additional days off, of which up to 7 of those 9 can be considered GDOs. Now, for block purposes, obviously the amount of time off you get in the month will be a direct result of the type of flying that you're doing. If you're doing very productive turns, chances are you're going to have a lot more days off than if you're doing unproductive or very long layovers. And therefore, this here, although you can still calculate it and probably should to make sure that what you think you're bidding for is going to give you the minimum number of days the system has to give you. What's really going to be even of more importance is calculating how many hours you have to bid for given your vacation credit. So if we go here, I just made a little side note. Absences other than vacation are credited at 2 hours and 10 minutes per day. That is for block building purposes only. It is not for pay purposes. What I mean by absences other than vacation, as we spoke about earlier, sick leave, leaves of absence, special assignment, whatnot, those would credit you 2 hours and 10 minutes toward your blocking window. But going back to today, we're talking about vacation, and vacation, as we said earlier, is 2 hours and 55 minutes per day. It's important to know your blocking windows. So in an 80-hour month, the system is looking to build a block between 71 hours and 80, and in an 85-hour month, the blocking window is between 76 and 85 hours. You cannot go below the minimum or above the maximum. So how do you calculate your hours when you have vacation? So here is your little formula. So blocking window, we're talking about the hours right here, minus, and here we have parentheses. Remember your math, we do parentheses first. So the number of vacation days you have times 2 hours and 55 minutes. Again, that's going to give you the credit for your total vacation because, again, one vacation day equals 2 hours and 55 minutes. So what does that mean exactly? Let's do an example together. So for the sake of this example, we have a 30-day block month in an 80-hour month. So we know that our blocking window is between 71 and 80. And I have 14 vacation days. Great. Now for reserve, let's start with that. How did we prorate days off for reserve? We need to see our available working days. So block month length, here we have a 30-day month, minus unavailable days. What are my unavailable days? They're my vacation. So 30 minus 14 is 16 available days. Great. So if I want to be thinking that I'll be on reserve, I have 16 available days. I'm going to scroll down this here, which is my available days column, till I hit 16. We said it's a 30-day block month, so it's going to be under this column. So 16. Where does it intersect? Right here on the little 7. So I get 7 days off, of which up to 6 of these 7 can potentially be a GDO. And that's what we have right here. So in addition to your 14 vacation days for a reserve block, you could expect to get 7 additional days off. Now, how about for a block? Again, we said we had 14 vacation days. If we go back to our formula, the first thing we want to know is how much vacation credit do I have here? You could actually go here, just look at how many 14 days equals 40 hours and 50 minutes. You can use their apps that you can download on your smartphone if you want time calculators, if that can be helpful for you. And otherwise, you can look at the in-period credit on your calendar in PBS, as mentioned earlier. So 14 times 2 hours and 55 minutes is 40 hours and 50 minutes. That is how much credit I have before the system even starts to process my bid. I'm already at 40 hours and 50 minutes. So in order for me to get to the minimum, which is 71 hours, I want to know how many hours I need to take me to 71. So we're going to do 71 hours, which is the minimum number of hours I need, minus the credit I've already accumulated with my vacation, and that gives me 30 hours and 10 minutes. Perfect. That is the minimum that I need to bid for in order for my block to be legal. What's the maximum? Well, the maximum is 80 hours. So you could just do this plus 9 because there's a difference of 9 hours between 71 and 80. If I've confused you on that, then simply we're going to go with the higher end of the window, which is 80 hours, minus 40 hours and 50 minutes, which is what I've accumulated, and I get 39 hours and 10 minutes. That is the maximum that I can do in addition to the vacation that I have. So my new blocking window when I have 14 days of vacation in this example is between 30 hours and 10 minutes and 39 hours and 10 minutes. Now, if this had been an 85-hour month, obviously I would be using 76 minus my vacation credit to get the minimum, and 85 minus my vacation credit to get the maximum hours that I can do. So just as a recap, this grid is super useful. Reserve, simply a proration of days on and off. The amount of credit that your vacation generates doesn't affect the days on and off that you're doing on reserve. It is simply a question of how many available days do you have? Here's how many days off you get. Whatever number you're not getting off, you're working. In terms of a block, we're talking about how much credit is your vacation worth total. Subtract that from the blocking window. That's how many hours you have left to do. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to your PBS representatives. And remember, in a month that you have training, not only does the training count as an available day, but on reserve, you're going to be doing your training on a day that you are scheduled for reserve. And on a block, you're going to have your minimum required days off that the system has to give you, in addition to any vacation that you might have, in addition to all the pairings that you need in order to get you to that legal blocking window. On that note, again, reach out if you need anything with regards to PBS.